Hello, I'm Katie Van Orden, and this is my Behavioral Management and Social Skills Screencast. Introduction to the problem. Every year there are more students that are added to the special education programs, and every year there are expectations for the teachers to do well because they are evaluated on how each of their students are doing. 3 pieces of evidence are: let go of the old way of doing things, limit the time spent admiring the problem, and expand your behavioral management toolbox. Positive behavior support is when we have negative approaches and we turn them into positive approaches to help the student in the best way that we know possible. Positive behavior support. Research that supports the positive behavior support was supported by a scientific study. Positive behavior support embraces flexibility with respect to scientific research, valuing the information gained by qualitative research methods such as naturalistic observations and care studies. Enhancing the captivity of environments. Focus on the environment where the learning occurs. The positive behavior support triangle. At the top is where we have few students with chronic or intense problem behavior, and these students there's 1 to 7% of students in the top of this support triangle. In the middle, some students at risk for problem behavior, and this is 5 to 15% of students. And at the bottom of the positive behavior support triangle is all students without serious problem behaviors, and this is going to be 80 to 90% of the students. The purpose of functional behavioral assessment examines why problem behaviors occur in order to guide prevention and intervention efforts, thereby increasing the efficiency and effectiveness. Functional behavior assessment process. First, we're going to observe the child and then describe, identify the triggers, set consequences, create a plan, and student input. The common functions of problem behavior: getting attention or reaction, get something tangible, obtain a sense of power or control, meet a sensory need, communicate feelings, as a result of a lack of understanding, to escape or to avoid something. And next I'm going to describe all of these. To get attention or reaction, students believe that even if they're going to get negative attention, it is better than not getting any attention at all, and teachers could use the power of attention to reinforce the students. Get something tangible. This is when the students will engage in inappropriate behavior to gain access to get a current fixation to the problem. Obtain a sense of power and control. This can be manipulative, stubborn, or even non-compliant ways that the student is trying to be in control of the situation. The student may be trying to change the behavior of the adult as the adult is trying to change the behavior of the student. Meet a sensory need. Many times all students need is to keep moving to keep them calm and concentrated, but this can also be seen by the teacher as disruptive behavior from the student. So we just need to make sure that we can tell whether they are trying to be disruptive on purpose or if they're just doing it so they can keep calm and concentrated during a lesson. Communicate feelings. A way to communicate feelings could be that they are receptive, or they could use expressive language. This could be seen as negative from the teacher, the way that their language is, but we need to remember that this is how they are trying to tell us that they are feeling at that moment. As a result of lack of understanding, these students will not be able to understand what mental or emotional state that they may currently be in at that time. Also, they may not understand what social rules of language are. This is something that we need to try and help teach them while they are feeling the way they are feeling, so we can help them to get in a better state. To escape or to avoid something. If they do not like what they are currently learning, or feel as though they're in a negative place or an environment, they could possibly use negative behavior to get out of that situation. The bottom line of functional behavioral assessment, behavior is rarely simple. It'll always be a struggle to help the students that are acting out, but there are many ways that we can help them. We just have to find the correct way to get them in the place that they need to be. Model of intervention. Instruction is teach them the desired behavior. Prevention, perform the skills for the appropriate time. Reinforcement, practice the desired behavior. Undesirable consequences are the last resort. And still consider the 3-tier model: all, some, and few. What have I learned? I have learned that the FBA is the best way to determine a child's behavior and what is causing the behavior. The FBA is also a way to help us look at how to prevent the actions from occurring repeatedly. There are many different ways to handle different situations. We just need to know which way is the best way for every situation. Now I'm going to talk about my lesson plan screencast, and I did it on the book The Girl Who Never Made Mistakes by Mark Pett and Gary Rubinstein. The skills being taught for this book, the character counts are SEI.4, self-acceptance, and SE4.7, positivity. The 3 tiers in the tier that'll fit this lesson. The 3 tiers are the some, few, and all. And in the few section is the 1 to 7% of students which need the most attention. Some are the 5 to 15% of the students that have some behavioral problems, and all is 80 to 90% of the students that have very minimal or no behavior problems at all. I think this lesson that's going to fit is the bottom tier, which is all of the students, which is going to be 80 to 90% of the students. 2 examples of how the problems can negatively affect others. Example 1, when asking the students to reflect on something in their life, they may feel like they might not be important or good enough because that particular example they may have not experienced yet or never will in their life. So we need to make sure we're asking open-ended questions that will relate to all students. Example 2, if you ask the students, what is something like this that has happened to you? They may reflect on something negative that has happened in their life, so we need to always make sure that we are asking positive questions. Objective of the social skills lesson. The objective of this lesson is to teach the students that it is okay to make mistakes and not everything we do is going to be perfect. So for this lesson, I want the students to realize to stay positive, even if we mess up, that's okay. 2 key terms that the student should understand. Self-acceptance. We need to accept that we all have flaws and that is okay. We also need to understand positivity, which we need to stay positive even if things do not go right the first time that we do them. How will I know that they understand? To know that the students understand, I could ask them a series of frequently asked questions, or I could even just simply observe them while they're interacting with each other. If a student messes up on something, I will listen to them for them to positively tell each other that it's okay and that we'll try it again. Or I can ask them, what if I miss the ball while trying to hit it? I will see how they respond to people making mistakes and see if they are positive or if they tell me that would not be okay that I missed the ball. Independent practice. For this, I'm going to observe them while playing outside during free time, at recess, or working individually or in groups. While observing them, I will be listening to see how they interact with others when someone does not do something exactly right. I will listen for them to be positive towards each other and ensure each other that we can try again. What I hope that students will learn. I want them to understand that it is okay for students to make mistakes. We are only human. things do not have to be done perfectly. There are different ways to do different things, and that we are not perfect. We're all unique in different ways. And that is my behavioral management and social skills screencast and my lesson plan screencast. Thank you for listening.